So what happens when everything you're doing as a leader just stops working? When the system you rely on completely breaks down? Today, we're going to dive into a leadership system that was literally born from that exact moment of crisis. This isn't just about winning. It's about what you build after you've hit a wall. Let's get into it.
All right, I want to start with a question that really gets to the heart of what it means to be a leader. Seriously, think about it for a second. In your own career, when did you really grow? When did you have that massive breakthrough? Was it when everything was smooth sailing?
Probably not. And the answer here is kind of powerful, right? Real, meaningful growth. It almost never comes when you're comfortable. It ignites in that moment of breakdown, when the way you've always done things just isn't cutting it anymore.
Okay, so let's really look at this first, crucial stage of the journey. It's a feeling I think pretty much every leader out there knows all too well. That feeling of being completely and utterly stuck.
The HAK1M system has a specific name for this moment, alaq. It's an Arabic word, and it literally means to be suspended, to be stuck. Think about that. This isn't just a bad week at the office. We're talking about a total system failure. Progress has ground to a halt. And you know what? This uncomfortable, frustrating place, it's the real starting line for change. So you're stuck in Allah. What do? Your gut instinct might be to just push harder, to work longer hours, maybe even to panic a little. But this system says, whoa, hold on. Before you do anything, you have to understand why you're stuck in the first place. The very first command, the first step in this framework is iqra, which means to read. Now this isn't about grabbing a book. It's about reading the room, reading the situation, reading the data. It's about taking a strategic pause to get your bearings and gain real awareness before you make your next move. It's about choosing clarity over chaos.
And what does this moment of iqra, of reading the situation, almost always reveal? Well, it's a game-changing insight. The breakdown, it's probably not a personal failing. The problem isn't you, the problem is the system you've been using to lead.
And generally, that system failure shows up in one of two ways. On one hand, you have value leakage. This is when you've got a brilliant strategy, truly world-class, but somewhere between the boardroom and the front lines, it just gets lost. It evaporates. Then, on the other hand, there's execution breakdown. This one's insidious because everyone looks busy. The wheels are spinning, but the car isn't actually moving forward. The really important strategic work, it just isn't happening. Does any of that sound familiar?
Okay, so once you've figured out why the system is failing, you need the right tools to fix it. And that brings us to the HAK1M Leadership Toolkit, a whole set of instruments designed specifically for this kind of repair job.
The first tool is a little abstract, I'll admit, but hang with me because it is the absolute foundation. It's called RMZAVUZ, the hidden operating symbol. Now don't think of this like a company logo. Think of it more like a piece of code or a mental blueprint. It's a symbolic language that actually visualizes the core logic of your leadership. It makes your mental model something you can actually see and work with.
And here's where that abstract symbol becomes an incredibly practical tool. It's the basis of what's called the HAK1M compass. But this compass isn't about showing you north or telling you where you're going. Nope. It's designed to answer the single most important question for any leader who's stuck. Where are we standing right now? It gives you an honest, accurate read on your current position.
Next, we need an engine to create action. That's the B cell. And look, let's be super clear here. This is not another pointless committee. This is a small, fast, empowered unit. Its one and only job is to take a strategic goal and make it a reality, cutting right through all the red tape and bureaucracy that usually slows big organizations down.
So how does it pull this off? Well, the B cell is all about simplicity and ruthless focus. As you can see, the structure is clean and simple. It tackles one, and only one, strategic goal at a time. That singular focus allows for super fast decision-making. And this model isn't just theory, it's been proven to be incredibly effective in really dynamic, fast-moving markets, like in Saudi Arabia. The final tool in the kit is SX, which stands for Strategy Transformers. And the idea here is brilliant. Look, global strategies from big-name firms are great, but they're not plug-and-play. SX is the translation engine. It takes these world-class methodologies and adapts them, turning them into a practical operating system that actually fits the local culture and works on the ground. So we've got the symbol for clarity, the B cell for execution, and the SX engine for adaptation. Pretty cool tools, right? But now, let's see how they all snap together to create a powerful, complete system. When you bring all these components together, they form the HAK1M OS, And this isn't just a collection of good ideas or management fads. It's a fully integrated leadership operating system, designed from the ground up to replace the one that broke down on you.
And the beauty of this OS is its simplicity. It runs on a clean 3-step loop. First, you use the tools to diagnose what's really going on. Then, armed with that clarity, you decide on the single most important action to take. And only then, once you're sure, do you finally move. Diagnose, decide, move. Simple.
This HAK1 OS is specifically engineered to plug those performance leaks we talked about earlier. It's built to close that massive gap between the leader's grand vision and what the team is actually doing day to day. It provides the missing link that turns a strategic plan on a slide into real, concrete action.
This all sounds great, in theory. But what does it actually feel like when you put it into practice? What's the real, tangible result when you install this new operating system in your organization?
Well, the transformation is pretty much night and day. Seriously, look at this. You go from that feeling of stagnation and confusion to having real clarity in the sense of direction. Those frustrating execution breakdowns, they're replaced with consistent forward movement. The value leakage gets plugged, which leads to focused, meaningful performance. And you as a leader, you stop just reacting and putting out fires, and you start operating with proactive, strategic control.
So at its core, this all system is really a call to action. It's for any leader out there who recognizes themselves in that starting point, in that moment of a lock, and is finally ready to say, you know what, my old system is broken, it's time for an upgrade.
So we're going to end right back where we started, with a question for you. And it's a simple one, really, because when you think about it, there's no middle ground. Your leadership system is either actively working for you, pushing you forward, or it's actively working against you, holding you back. Which is it?